She stormed onto my land like she owned the earth itself and shouted, "Get off my property right now." And for a second, I actually laughed because she had no idea whose ground she was standing on. The HOA president, Linda, pointed at a massive mansion behind her, white pillars, glass walls, a driveway big enough for 10 SUVs, and said, "This entire estate belongs to you're trespassing." But something inside me tightened because I knew that mansion wasn't supposed to exist. Not here. Are not on my land. I pulled out the old map my father left me, the one everyone said was outdated, but the boundary lines were clear and her house sat right in the middle of it. When I showed her the document, she hissed. "Fake. Destroy it if you have to. But you're leaving." She waved and a tall guy in a security uniform stepped forward. He grabbed my shoulder hard like he was waiting for a reason to shove me. I stared him down and said quietly, "Touch me again. And you'll regret it." He froze just for a second like he sensed something was off. Linda didn't stop. "You think some paper gives you power? I built this neighborhood. I decide who stays." She leaned in, smiling like a villain in a bad movie. "And I'm going to bury you if you try anything stupid." But I didn't back up. I took a slow breath and said, "Funny thing. You built your mansion on someone else's land." Her smile cracked just a little. But I saw it. That tiny flash of fear. Then she snapped that I'll make one call and end your life here. She dialed someone, speaking fast, whispering things she didn't want me to hear. But I caught one chilling line. "He can't find out the truth." My heart thumped hard. Truth? What truth? Before I could ask, the security guy suddenly stepped closer, lowered his voice, and said, "You should go before she gets serious." That's when I noticed it. His badge wasn't real. His uniform had no agency name, and his belt had pepper spray, but no serial numbered gear. Fake security, fake authority, fake power. And she was hiding something big. I looked back at her mansion, shiny, towering, impossible to miss, and a cold realization hit me. If that house was truly on my land, then everything she built was at risk. I turned to leave, not because I was scared, but because I finally understood the one thing Linda never wanted me to see. I had the upper hand, and she knew it. "Enjoy your mansion while you still can," I said softly. She stiffened like I had slapped her because this isn't over. Not even close. Her eyes widened, just a flicker, and that was enough to confirm what I suspected. She'd been caught. She just didn't know how bad it would get. Linda didn't wait even a minute. By the time I reached the edge of the gravel driveway, 3 black SUVs rolled up fast, engines growling, doors slammed, and a group of men stepped out. Matching jackets, matching boots, matching fake confidence, no badges, no IDs, just the same empty uniforms Linda's security guy wore. She walked toward them with that smug grin pointing straight at me. "Remove him. He's trespassing on HOA property." One of the men cracked his knuckles. "Sir, step away or we'll escort you off by force." I tilted my head. "Escort me from my own land." Linda folded her arms. "This entire community exists because of my leadership. Your little paper means nothing. I control who stays, who leaves, and who disappears. When they make trouble," she said it with a cold calm that made the air feel heavier. But I didn't move. I simply held up my phone. "You really want to do this in front of a camera?" The big guy laughed. "Phones break." That's when I smiled because they still had no idea who they were messing with. I tapped the screen and a loud beep echoed. Linda's face tightened as she recognized it. Motion sensors. Live recording. Automatic cloud. Her voice cracked. "Turn that off." "I can't," I said. "It activates anytime someone tries to push me off my own land." For a moment, those fake guards hesitated. Not because they feared the law, but because they feared exposure. People like them don't work in the light. They move in shadows. Linda noticed the shift and snapped at them. Don't stand there. Grab him. They started closing in slowly. But before they reached me, something unexpected happened. The oldest one in the group stepped back, squinting at the ground. He bent down, wiped dust from a rusty metal marker buried in the dirt, and his face changed completely. It was a survey marker, a legal one, and it sat several feet inside my side of the property line. The man looked at Linda. "Ma'am, this marker says, 'Shut up,'" she screamed. She kicked dirt over it like a child caught stealing. He planted that, but her voice wasn't steady anymore. A crack had formed. I stepped closer, calm, but firm. "That marker is older than your entire HOA, and it's one of many." Linda's breath hitched. She turned pale for the first time. Her mansion, her pride, was built across that line. She whispered to her fake guards, "Do something now." But they weren't listening to her anymore. They were staring at the marker, then at me, and something told them this wasn't a simple eviction. I leaned in and said quietly, "This house, your rules, your kingdom, it all stands on my land." Linda stepped back, shaking her head fast like she could outrun reality. "No, but no, you don't understand. This can't come out." That one sentence told me everything. There was a secret, a big one, and she'd do anything to hide it. But I wasn't stepping away this time. I was going to uncover every piece of it. Linda panicked now, switching from threats to begging in seconds. "Please listen. We can fix this quietly," she whispered, grabbing my arm like the world was ending for her. But it was already too late. The real sheriff's truck pulled up because I had called him hours earlier when I first suspected something was wrong. He stepped out, looked at the survey marker, looked at my documents, and then looked at Linda's mansion towering over us. His face said everything. She was done. Linda tried one last stunt. "Sheriff, arrest him. He forged everything." But the sheriff cut her off. "Ma'am, the county records show this land belongs to his family, and they always have." Her knees almost buckled. And then the biggest twist dropped. The sheriff added, "We also checked your permits. You never had permission to build this mansion. Not even the HOA had authority here." Silence. Even the fake guards backed away from her. The sheriff turned to me. "Sir, by law, the entire structure falls under your ownership now. You can reclaim everything." Linda broke completely. "You don't understand. If this comes out, I lose everything. The HOA, my money, everything." I looked her straight in the eye. "You already did." Court moved fast after that because the evidence was undeniable. Linda had stolen land, faked permits, used HOA money, and buried every rule she forced on others. The judge's ruling echoed through the courtroom. The mansion returns to the rightful landowner. HOA President Linda is removed from office and charged with fraud. People gasped, she cried. Justice finally hit her like a sledgehammer. A week later, I walked through the mansion. My mansion now. Wide halls, high ceilings. Her legacy handed to me by the law. She tried to twist. And as I stood on the balcony overlooking the land my father left me,